The Tennessee Titans made the playoffs last season for the first time since 2008. Now, the 2018 version will have a new head coach in Mike Vrabel, who comes over from the Houston Texans. There's a lot of talent in place to make his first season a successful one. But does that mean a return trip to the playoffs? We'll break that down as we preview the 2018 Titans season. Let's take a look at some of the key storylines heading into the season as we go into our 4-minute offense. The Tennessee Titans hired Mike Vrabel this offseason to be their head coach, and his playing days in the NFL were done back in 2010, and he immediately jumped into coaching, taking a job at Ohio State in 2011 before joining the Houston Texans in 2014 as their linebacker coach. Now, he spent the last season as the Texans defensive coordinator and has proven, at least in his stint as an NFL assistant coach and coordinator, to be a guy that can strike the right chord with his players to get the most out of them. The Titans are hoping that he can have that same effect on the entire team as they try to make playoff trips an every year thing in Nashville. Quarterback Marcus Mariota is entering his 4th season in the NFL, and while his leadership has guided the Titans to an increase in the win column each year, statistically, the feeling is that he hasn't taken that big step as of yet. Mariota threw for over 3,200 yards and 13 touchdowns last season, but also tossed 15 interceptions. Now, we know he is a dual threat player, so one cannot just look at his passing numbers without acknowledging the good job that he does on the ground as a rusher, as he contributed over 300 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns there. For the most part, he's been efficient, but the expectation is for him to be exceptional. And judging by the moves made last year and in this offseason, there's talent at his disposal that could help him get to that point this year, which would be a great thing for this Titans team as a whole. The Titans were also busy in free agency this offseason, and one key acquisition was cornerback Malcolm Butler, formerly of the New England Patriots. Now, we all know the well-documented Super Bowl story involving Butler's non-playing time, but we can't lose sight of the fact that he was playing really good ball toward the end of the season and into the playoffs. He brings a strong #1 corner type pedigree to the secondary, just strengthening the unit as a whole. Based off how last year ended for him in New England, he's probably the most motivated player on this Titans squad. A new head coach usually comes with new coordinators, and the Titans' new defensive coordinator, Dean Pease, is a damn good one. He comes over from the Baltimore Ravens, where he was their DC since 2012. And what's interesting is that Pease initially retired after the 2017 season, but changed his mind a couple of weeks later to come and spearhead Tennessee's defense. If the Titans' style resembles anything remotely similar to what we saw the last 6 years in Baltimore, then this already good defense can become even greater. A reason for optimism in Tennessee could be due to the secondary. The Titans have excellent personnel on the back end with all-pro safety Kevin Byard, last year's first-round pick Adoree Jackson at corner, Logan Ryan in the other corner spot opposite of Malcolm Butler, and even the recent signing of free agent Kenny Vaccaro as a matchup safety will prove to be a blessing in disguise for this defense, and one that makes his unit even stronger. Improving the pass defense was a priority for Tennessee this offseason, and that looks like mission accomplished so far this preseason. You can also be optimistic about the receiving core here for the Tennessee Titans. There's not only good talent, but dynamic talent as well, with Corey Davis and Taywan Taylor. Tajay Sharp looks to rebound from an injury-plagued 2017, and they boast 2 solid tight end options in Delaney Walker and Jonnu Smith. I love to use the term creating your own shot when speaking about receivers and their ability to do things above the X's and O's, and in my opinion, this aptly describes this group of pass catchers. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the linebacking core. The Titans came away with 2 great picks in the NFL draft from Rashaan Evans and Harold Landry. They were arguably 2 of the best backers in the NFL draft, and they'll team up with outside linebackers Derek Morgan and Brian Arakpo. You look at Wesley Woodyard and Jayon Brown. They look solid on the inside. And this is a very versatile group, which will be key in this defense. That'll be a 3-4, 4-3 hybrid designed to take full advantage of the diverse personnel at their disposal. A cause for concern would be the running game. This is an area where the Titans want to get a little bit more explosive. They have Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis as a potential 1-2 punch. They've also brought in Akrum Wadley out of Iowa as an undrafted rookie free agent as well, who's cut from the same cloth as Lewis. Now, what will the expectation for Derrick Henry be as they go away from the exotic smash mouth approach to something uniquely different this season? The personnel tells me that they'll be a specific role defined for Henry, but what will that be? Lewis and Wadley can do similar things a lot quicker and a lot shiftier than Henry, and this will be something to keep an eye on as camp and the preseason rolls along. I also have a slight concern about the offensive line outside of tackle Taylor Lewan. They returned all 5 starters, but there's still some question marks about the other 4. Jack Conklin hopes to be healthy enough to go week 1 after suffering an ACL tear in the playoffs last year. Both Quentin Spain and Ben Jones dealt with some inconsistencies last season, and Josh Klein will be in the battle for that starting job with a couple of players they brought in via free agency this offseason. So that's why this camp and preseason is important for this unit as they work toward consistency, depth, and continuity. Now here are some quick takes as the Titans go through training camp. Look for wide receiver Taywan Taylor and linebacker Jayon Brown to have breakout seasons. Taylor has been excellent so far in training camp, and look for that to carry over to the regular season. And Brown played well as a nickelbacker last year and figures to become more of a household name by season's end. Some camp surprises will be running back Akrum Wadley and Malcolm Butler. Wadley has that wiggle to draw a lot of oohs and ahs from those in attendance and shows to be a really good receiver out of the backfield. And I think people forget how good of a player Butler really is, and he'll remind folks of that this preseason. Rookie standouts this year, keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent wide receiver Deontay Burnett out of USC. I think he's an ideal slot receiver that doesn't mind sacrificing his body for the catch. And Harold Landry will prove to be a big-time addition to this defense with his ability to dip and turn the corner to close on a quarterback. And from a fantasy football perspective, I would target Marcus Mariota in your drafts. I believe he's going to have a breakout season, putting together his best year statistically for this team, making him a fantasy gem. The road to the Super Bowl for the Titans goes as follows. Marcus Mariota has to take that next step. He's done it in spurts throughout his career. The Titans need for him to be that guy for a full 16 weeks. One thing that could help him out is extra possessions with the ball, and that ties directly into my second key, which would be the secondary and its improvements, making plays on the ball and taking it away. As good as the Titans defense was last season, outside of Kevin Byard, they really didn't turn the ball over extremely well. They were 18th in interceptions. That number has to at least get into the top 10 this year. And finally, the Titans are excellent in the special teams department. And if that can remain the same with kicker Ryan Suckup and punter Brett Kern, Tennessee could make the short trip to Atlanta for the big game. I have the Titans finishing 3rd in the AFC South. Defensively, they'll be a strong unit once again, even improving in their pass defense. On offense, I think the passing game will actually lead the way for them this year, but I still have concerns about the consistency of the offensive line and their running game, enough to where it'll probably keep them hovering around 500 or 9-7 on the season. So that's it for our 2018 NFL season team preview. Be sure to follow me on all of our social media accounts. Also check out and subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, and to find other NFL team previews for our 2018 NFL season kickoff, visit the YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and click that subscribe button.